Bottle Angelo, $250. Bottle EQ, $75. 2 bottles of Trend, $75 each. But just need the juice and you're all right then, right?
I'm just gonna get big and strong.
Yes, you are, my friend.
Later that same evening.
If it hadn't been for Camp St. Joe, I'd been president a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did your votes go? Where did you go from pedophile?
Karoline, thank you so much for being on the program. I know you are extremely busy right now, and we thank you for being here. Massive news. I guess we just want to start with this massive news out of the court this morning that is rocketing across the internet. Michael Cohen is a dirty liar who defrauded Donald Trump. Donald Trump's the victim in this crime?
It's unbelievable what we're seeing take place in this courtroom every single day, Benny. I've been in the courtroom now with President Trump for 4 weeks, and the prosecution has not even come close to proving a crime because President Trump never committed a crime. And the far left district attorney, Alvin Bragg's office, and this Democrat partisan, highly conflicted judge have known there's no crime in this case. They're only bringing it forward at the behest of Joe Biden to interfere in this election. And that witness you speak of in the case, well, I'm not even allowed to comment on his testimony today with you because of the unconstitutional gag order that the judge has imposed, not just on President Trump, but our entire campaign team. That proves this is election interference. Not only are they politically persecuting the leading frontrunner in this election, they are also restricting not only him, but our entire team from talking about the witnesses and the people involved in this case. It's unbelievable. It's outrageous. It's been despicable to watch. But I believe that there is going to be, President Trump ultimately is going to be acquitted of this case, whether it's here in this dirty criminal courtroom, whether it's on appeal, and he will also ultimately win as well at the ballot box on November the 5th, because people see this for what it is, and it's a witch hunt.
So, yeah, I mean, got to tell you, we've been hunting for something on this program, which is a debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Apparently, that's not going to happen, potentially. There's been now a new news cycle about the drug testing. Now, right before he got on, we were playing these clips of Joe Biden with his giant, wide, dilated pupils, strange voice. Everybody saw what he looked like at the State of the Union. Donald Trump commented on it this week. We just played that clip. The drug test charge and requirement. How strict is your campaign going to be on that? I mean, is this like a line? Is this a red line?
Look, President Trump has said he will debate Joe Biden anytime, anywhere, any place. It's incredibly important that we have these debates, that they move forward. The American people deserve them. They're going to be a great opportunity for President Trump to go head to head with crooked Joe Biden to ensure that we are contrasting President Trump's strong record versus Joe Biden's failing record. Now, President Trump is right to call for this. And why wouldn't Joe Biden agree to a drug test if he wants to prove that he's truly mentally and physically able to lead this country for another 4 years? Then he should say yes. It took his announcement video, it took him 5 different cuts for a 13-second video. And so I think it's a fair question for President Trump to ask and to pose, and Joe Biden should agree to it.
If Joe Biden doesn't agree to it, though, will the debates continue?
We will continue with the debates, yes. In June, in August, President Trump has already committed those. He's a man of his word. And we've also proposed 2 more debates, Benny. We want Fox News to host a debate. President Trump has accepted their invitation. We also accepted the invitation of NBC and Telemundo, which Joe Biden declined, by the way, because his campaign knows he's failing with the Hispanic American community across this country. And they don't want him to talk to that audience, because how is he going to defend his wide open border policy that has devastated the Latino community? How is he going to defend Bidenomics, which is forcing these people to suffer every single day? And so he declined that debate. President Trump accepted it. President Trump will debate this man anytime, anywhere, any place.
Maybe he could send Jill Biden and she could call every Latino a breakfast taco, as she famously did, or say, "Si se puede." in her wonderful Spanish. I mean, Joe Biden can't speak English, so why would you expect him to be able to speak Spanish? I guess is a great question. This is the clip that's been going viral all across the internet. We're just going to play it beside here of Joe Biden really looking zoinked out of his mind. I don't know what the hell the guy's on. So here we go. What do you think is going on here? I mean, I don't think you're a doctor, but could you please explain this to me?
I am not a doctor. What I am is a human being who can use my own eyes and recognize when someone is acting bizarrely. And that certainly is what Joe Biden portrays in this video. And also every time he steps on the campaign trail, there definitely was a clear difference in his behavior and his demeanor at the State of the Union address versus when we see him out on the campaign trail giving 15-minute stump speeches, reading from a teleprompter. He went from Sleepy Joe to absolutely wired and screaming with those eyes that you see in that video. And so again, it's a question worth asking, can he go forward with these debates without the use of artificial stimulation? And if he wants to prove to the American public that he can do that, then he should agree to President Trump's request for a drug test. What do you have to hide, Crooked Joe?
Yeah, I mean, well, we've seen the little baggies of cocaine that have been hidden all over Washington, D.C. So I don't know, maybe that's what they had to hide. There were no bags of cocaine found in the White House under Trump's first term. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's a matter of historic record. So you talk about Joe Biden on the campaign trail, and we have this footage of Joe Biden leaving events in dark Democrat blue cities with nobody in the roads. Like nobody. This is from Atlanta. We have also footage from Detroit. These are like dark blue Democrat, like plus 80 points, hellholes, and nobody shows up. Nobody. And this is what I find is particularly interesting as Joe Biden walks by. Everyone's like, this is an inconvenience, right? That Donald Trump gets cheered in these streets. The difference between Donald Trump going through Fulton County and Joe Biden going through Fulton County is pretty wild. And when Donald Trump travels through, it looks like this. People are coming out of their houses and cheering and dancing in the streets. It does seem like all of Joe Biden's entire campaign and support are completely astroturfed and fake.
The only people in America who support Joe Biden are out of touch, elitist, limousine liberals that live in Hollywood. I mean, that's it. Real Americans do not support him. The polling suggests that. And anecdotally, we see that everywhere we go with President Trump across this country, whether it's Midtown Manhattan, where we've unfortunately been spending a lot of time because of this sham Biden trial. There are crowds of people waiting outside Trump Tower every single day, anxiously awaiting just to catch a glimpse of President Trump. We went to a construction site with union workers, longtime Democrat voters who said they are voting for President Trump, the Republican, for the very first time in their lives because they realize how horrible Bidenomics has been for them. We went to Harlem to a bodega. President Trump received a thunderous applause from many Latinos and Black Americans in that community. And when President Trump goes out on the campaign trail, it's the same thing, whether it's Michigan or Florida or Pennsylvania or Wisconsin. He is greeted by enthusiastic Americans from all backgrounds, from all races, who make all different sorts of money, who all agree that they were better off under his leadership. And that's why we see this groundswell of support on the ground. I've been working for President Trump for a long time. There has never been this much spirit and enthusiasm than there is for his campaign right now. And it's because there's never been a greater contrast between the one that we'll have on the ballot on November the 5th.
Yeah, I just want to dig down there because the polling out of this weekend was absolutely disastrous. I saw Jason Miller sharing quite a bit of it. So, like, there is no more. You can't argue that there is now any type of advantage with young voters, Latino voters, or Black voters if you're a Democrat. Mm-hmm. That's wild.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. These are longtime Democrat Party constituencies that the Democrat Party is dependent on to get elected for decades. And they are swinging towards President Trump, whether it's Black men, whether it is Hispanic Americans, whether it's even women in suburban America who all care about the same things. At the end of the day, all Americans, we want peace around this world. We want prosperity for ourselves, our families, and future generations. And we want security and basic law and order. We want a president who is going to deport illegal criminals out of our communities and streets, not release them to do more harm and commit more crimes. We want a president who's going to cut our taxes and bring down inflation, not promise the largest tax increase ever, which is what Joe Biden is doing right now. You know, I've spent a lot of time in New York City with President Trump the last few weeks. Every single Uber driver or taxi driver that I have had in that city, when we've got to talking about politics, has told me they are voting for President Trump because they are concerned with the rising crime in New York. They're concerned with the rising cost of living that's making the American dream unattainable for all Americans. And Joe Biden's policies have just been so terrible for everyone that we're seeing this monumental shift take place in our political system right now, where the Democrat Party virtually does not have a base. Their only base, again, is out of touch limousine liberals who live a style of life that the rest of us just simply do not, and don't recognize the consequences that Biden's policies are having on this country.
Yes, I think we celebrated and cheered from the rafters when the debates were decided. However, Vivek Ramaswamy came on our program, was like, wait a second, it might be a trap. Why would they have debates so early? Is this a potential opportunity to see if Joe Biden just totally collapses, switch him out at the conventions? We've never had presidential debates before the conventions, and I think that's very interesting, not in the modern era, and that's true. We checked. And so do you think there's any funny business going on with the debate? I mean, it did really happen quite unexpectedly. Joe Biden in that ridiculous video with all the jump cuts, more jump cuts than a Guy Ritchie movie. It did happen unexpectedly. It seems a little strange. Also, all of the conditions for the debate, right? Mute buttons and no audience, no RFK and CNN, Jake Tapper, all these Trump hating, truly like properly like Trump broken anchors, like moderating this stuff. Do you feel like you might be walking into a trap?
No, absolutely not. It was Joe Biden who got trapped. President Trump has been calling on Biden to debate for months, and he has said he will do it anytime, anywhere, any place, because why wouldn't he? President Trump has a clear record to stand on. He speaks to crowds of hundreds of thousands of people every single week. And crooked Joe Biden can hardly read off of a teleprompter. So President Trump believes in his message and in his record and in himself. He's one of the greatest debaters we've ever seen in American politics. And we have actually called on these debates to be earlier. Originally, the Presidential Debates Commission, which has long dictated the schedule of presidential debates, was refusing to host one until September. And we feel that's too late. There will be millions of people who will engage in early voting and cast their ballot in September. And so it's very important that Americans have the opportunity to see these two candidates go head to head to talk about their records and their vision for America. President Trump wins on the issues every single time, and we want voters to see that as soon as possible. And that's why we're very excited about this debate next month, about the debate in September. And we're also pushing Joe Biden to commit to two more, because Americans deserve as many opportunities as they can to see their former president and the current unfortunate president go head to head on the issues that matter to them and their families.
Just a really quick follow-up there. The vice presidential debates. That's going to be an interesting show. Donald Trump's been making a lot of news saying he's going to pick his vice presidential candidate at the convention, the RNC convention. That's going to be in July in Milwaukee. Can you confirm that? And also, it's going to be very interesting to watch Joe Biden debate. It'll also be very interesting to watch Kamala Harris debate. Again, somebody who doesn't have a great command of the English language or like humanity. And so we very much look forward to that as well.
It's going to be fantastic. President Trump has said that it's very likely he will announce his vice presidential pick in Milwaukee, but I will leave when he officially decides that to him and who he officially picks. And to your point, Benny, anyone who President Trump picks from the Republican Party is going to be a heck of a lot better than Kamala Harris. And no matter who it is, we look forward to that debate as well.
Really quickly, your insight on Donald Trump, how he's doing, and the plan forward to get us 5 months, just 5 months from now, to the general election. How's the president doing?
He's never been better. He is tough. He is tenacious. He is defiant, even in the face of this unprecedented political lawfare that's being thrown against him. It is truly humbling to work for such a warrior and inspiring to watch him get up every single day, do media interviews in the morning, go and sit in this dirty, disgusting courthouse for 8 hours, be politically persecuted, go out to the press, speak the truth, make more news than his opponent Joe Biden does in a week and one day, then go off to private dinners and meetings and fundraisers fundraisers and rallies. I mean, the man works harder than anyone else in this country, and that's why he deserves to be our president again, and he will be our president again, because he's fighting for truth and he's fighting for the great people of this beautiful country that we live in.
All the polls are on your side. I mean, another devastating rounds of polls. We don't have the time to get into it, but it's just incredible. And Donald Trump will prayerfully get out of the courtroom as early as this week, as early as next week, the judge just decided. And so we very much look forward to that. Godspeed. Everybody please go follow Karoline Leavitt. Everybody knows that she is the one who speaks on behalf of the president and is doing just a remarkable job and is steadfast. And 138,000 Patriots can't be wrong. Get in there and follow Karoline.
Thanks, Benny.